How much would you have to save to drive an extra 30 minutes? What about an hour? Is it $50,000, $100,000? In today's video, we're going to look at how much money you can save when buying a home by expanding your search to new areas. Now, I know not everyone is just able to move an extra hour away from their friends, family, and their jobs. And I also know that a lot of you watching this are probably in or around Toronto, and for you, moving to Oshawa or somewhere in Durham region is already moving an hour away from those things. But my job as a realtor here in Durham region is to provide you with all of the information and all of the options that you have so you can make the best decision for you and your family. Maybe moving an extra hour away isn't on the table, but you just might find that you'll consider an extra 15 or 20 minutes and get a home that's a better fit for you long term. My name is Jessie McClellan and I'm a realtor here in Durham region with the Lisa Abbott team. I make videos about our real estate market, especially here in Durham region, so if you're looking for the best neighborhoods, areas to avoid, or if you just want to stay up to date on everything that's happening, please subscribe to the channel and help me reach 1,500 subscribers. You can also use the link in the description to book a call directly with me at a time that works best for you, where you can get all of your questions answered about buying or selling a home here. For this video, I tried to keep all of the examples fairly similar, and I picked homes that if I were actively shopping for a home, these would be properties that I would want to book a showing on and view for myself. They're all in good neighborhoods, they're all in similar condition, nothing's extremely dated or in need of any crazy work. All of the homes are detached, bungalows, 2 stories, or split level homes, and all of these homes sold in the last 60 days since the time of recording this. And I didn't cherry pick any really rough or high-end areas to skew the numbers. I hope this helps you get a better idea of what your money can get you in different areas and help you decide whether it's worth including those areas in your search. So we'll start off with Oshawa. The homes I picked here in Oshawa sold between $715,000 and $750,000. As I mentioned, nothing was cherry picked. You can get cheaper detached homes, but as you dip below $700,000, the harder it becomes to find detached homes in a quality area and in good condition. And on the other hand, you can spend a lot more than $750,000 to live in rougher neighborhoods, extremely busy streets, and so on, which is why it's very important to try and inform yourself during your home search, but also work with someone who really knows each neighborhood and isn't just trying to sell you any house. The quality of the neighborhood makes all the difference. These homes are located in the Pinecrest, Samac, and Donovan communities in Oshawa. All of these are good areas, especially for the $700,000 to $750,000 price range. Now let's look at some of the more common areas people will include in their search when they want to get a little bit more home for their dollar. First area I'm going to look at is Lindsay. This is the furthest area from Oshawa that I've included. It's about a 55-minute drive from Oshawa and an hour and 30-minute drive from Toronto in sensible traffic. Here are the sales I picked from Lindsay. There's a very good variety of styles and sizes. Most of the ones from Oshawa I believe were under 1,500 square feet. There's at least 2 homes on this list that are above 1,500 square feet. One is actually over 2,000 square feet. Like most cities, there's a few areas of Lindsay that I would personally tend to stay away from, but these homes are in good neighborhoods, and there's a few that were built in the last 5 to 20 years. These homes sold recently for between $605,000 and $657,000. So if you can make the drive to Lindsay, it could save you around $100,000 and you could get a bigger, newer home. If you are open to smaller homes, older homes, or other areas of Lindsay, you can find detached properties well under $600,000. We were to compare the cost of a mortgage with a $50,000 down payment and a 4.2% interest rate, a home in Lindsay would be around $600 less per month than a similar home in Oshawa. We're going to slowly work our way from the furthest area to the closest area. Next is Peterborough. I find Peterborough has a fairly similar pricing to Lindsay and a good variety of homes as well. It's about a 50-minute drive to Oshawa and an hour and a half to Toronto. There's a good mix of homes on this list, some smaller, some larger, some older, and some newer. These homes all sold between $530,000 and $620,000. If you bought somewhere in the middle of that price range, you'd be saving almost $800 a month on your mortgage when compared to an Oshawa property. The great thing about Peterborough is that highway access is quite easy. You can jump on the 115 and be down at the 401 or 407 within 30 minutes or so. Peterborough also has more going on. We see more concerts and events being planned there than ever before. It's going to feel a lot more similar to Oshawa than many of these other areas. Next up, we're going to go east down the 401 and look at Cobourg. Cobourg is beautiful. There's the Cobourg Beach, which is a popular tourist spot in the summer, but there's also some great food out in Cobourg. It's not a huge town, but it's very charming, and during the peak of the market, its prices were actually pretty much on par with a lot of Durham region. Now you can get lucky and find some great opportunities though. Cobourg is about an hour and 15 minutes to Toronto with good traffic levels, and about 40 minutes to Oshawa. I picked 3 sales from Cobourg, a side split, and a couple of 2-story homes. These homes sold between $585,000 and $680,000. What's more crazy than the sold prices, in my opinion, is that many of these homes, not just in Cobourg, but all of these areas, took 30 to 45 days or longer to sell. I remember making videos and having conversations with clients about good deals in these lower price points, but they were few and far between and would always sell in like 3 to 5 days. If you're shopping in the price ranges now and can look just outside of Durham region, you'll have a lot more options and a lot more time to think it over. These are the most buyer-friendly market conditions we've seen in years. The last area is not far from Cobourg, and that is Port Hope. For those of you who are willing to travel and drive a little bit further for a good deal but can't go somewhere as far as Lindsay or Peterborough, then Port Hope might be a great area to consider. Port Hope is about 35 minutes from Oshawa and about an hour and 10 minutes from Toronto. It's a smaller town right along the 401, making for a very easy commute. Over the last few months, there hasn't been a ton of sales, so I was a little bit limited on options to choose from, and that can be the downside of Port Hope, as you don't always have an abundance of properties to choose from, depending on the time of year. But I found 3 homes that I would personally have looked at myself. These homes all sold between $600,000 and $685,000. The one $685,000 sale had a huge backyard and was fully renovated. Otherwise, it would probably be closer to the $600-615 price range like the other 2. So for example, if we took a $735,000 Oshawa home and a $650,000 Cobourg or Port Hope home with the same down payment and interest rate, your monthly mortgage is about $500 less in Cobourg or Port Hope. If you ever view homes with me or talk to my past clients I've worked with, you'll know I like to point out everything, the good and the bad. If there's something negative about a property that I point out, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't buy it, but I want you to be aware of it so that you can decide whether it's a deal breaker or not. With most of these areas I've shown you today, the weather can be a bit harsher, mostly in the winter. It can be colder and you can get more snow, and especially in a place like Lindsay where there's no 401 highway nearby, commuting can be tougher in the winter. You also have to take into consideration the extra cost. If you have to travel into Toronto or Durham region to visit friends, family, or for work, you will spend more money on gas. It will put more wear and tear on your car, and it will take more of your time. But if it helps you save $800 a month or allows you to buy a home that fits your needs better, then it still may be worth considering. There's also areas in between all of those areas. You don't have to go to Peterborough or Cobourg to save money. There's plenty of little communities in between that are half the distance and still a price discount compared to Durham region. But the trade-off with those properties is a lot of them will be rural and may even be on well and septic instead of municipal services. If you can, I always recommend taking a drive out and seeing if the commute is something that you can tolerate. Figure out how far you're willing to go. I'm even happy to show you a home or two so that you can get a clearer picture of what it would be like to live there. If you have any questions for me about these areas, or if you'd like me to help you find a more suitable area, you can use the link in the description to book a call with me at whatever time works best for you. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye!